染まる月彼方へきっとたどり着くと決めたから何も変わることなくても何も伝わらなくても迷うたび捨てた答えもきっと選ぶ日はまた来るからこの心は誰よりも熱く燃やし続けよう消えないように
You know, back when I first watched this one, there were multiple points that I actually burst out laughing because it kind of just hit me what was actually happening in the movie. This is the weirdest piece of Detective Conan media I have ever seen. Generally, outside of the cast occasionally showing off superhuman characteristics, and the weird gadgets that Conan and Kid have, Detective Conan tries to abide by reality. So you can imagine my surprise when the 6th film in the series is basically sorta online if they got sucked into the Sherlock Holmes universe instead of Aincrad, and also if the characters weren't crappy.
Your face is crappy.
In spite of this very weird concept, this is the most well-received Detective Conan movie, with a 7.8 on IMDb, and a whopping 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. To be fair, no critical score, but Detective Conan's a little bit too niche for those generally. Do I agree? Well, let's start with what I believe this film does the strongest so far, and see if that's enough to get it over Captured in Her Eyes. This is the funniest film so far. The film very consistently made me laugh. It even had a toilet joke that I found funny, and that is my least favourite form of humour. I also really like how much mystery solving there was in this one. There's less action and more investigating. I don't really have a preference between Conan movies that have action and Conan movies that are more mystery based. However, the character simply solving a mystery feels a bit more close to home. This is actually a really well-rounded movie. Outside of the concept maybe taking a little bit for me to get used to, I really didn't have any problems with it. I can see why this is generally people's favourite. I just think it lacks the emotional power of the last two, even if those two might have had more blatant problems with them. Not only is this movie a great Conan movie, and a great movie in general, but it's a really nice treat for Sherlock Holmes fans. It's very clear that the people who made this movie adore the works of Conan Doyle. The research they did on Sherlock Holmes is really impressive. They reference several stories and even travelled to London, just to make sure they got London's layout, and even 221B Baker Street's layout is perfect. We even see them acknowledge the great writing by having Conan say that he likes the villain as much as Sherlock himself. It's actually kind of rare to see characters who love a series adore the villain as much as the hero. Stuff like that really shows where the passion lies, and that's why I'm okay with such a weird story, because it makes for the most unique movie so far, and a massive love letter to Sherlock Holmes fans. And hey, if fans of Holmes are going to be watching any anime, it's probably going to be the one where the protagonist is dressed in Sherlock Holmes attire on the front cover of the manga's first volume. So I think it makes sense here. Also, here's another thing I wasn't expecting. Social commentary, like very blatant criticism of the Japanese education system and how it ignores individuality. I mean, I can't exactly speak for the accuracy of this since I'm not Japanese, but it caught me off guard. It was unexpected for the film with the overall goofier story, but I guess that kind of leveled it out and allowed me to take it seriously. It helps make this movie's, sort of villain, Hiroki, a really strong character. I recall the ending with him and Conan actually choking me up a little bit when I first watched the film. He is without question the strongest villain so far. There is another villain, but Hiroki really is the stronger of the two. The climax was super strong, with Rand's sacrifice being a highlight, and the way they foreshadowed how they'd get out of their predicament was genius. Nothing in this movie is an accident, it's all brought up later. It's so damn cool. Even things that seem like errors for the sake of plot convenience were brought up later. That sort of stuff happens a lot in the anime and manga, but not so much in the movies, at least so far. Also, Conan's dad is here. One of the least common characters is always appreciated. I can only hope that Yukiko makes some sort of appearance in a later film as well. She's one of my favourite characters. And finally, the setting. It's set in early 1900s London. I mean, that's just so standout. It makes it the most visually differentiated movie so far, with a heavy usage of orange and black to create a very warm but also eerie look. The animation is as strong as ever too. So, where does it land? I'd say second. I think they did the best they possibly could with such an idea. Sherlock Holmes is canonically a fictional universe in this world, so a crossover between them seems like a near impossible task. But they actually did it, and super well too, and for that I give it a 10 out of 10. A pretty bold score, I know, but this and Captured in Her Eyes both deliver such well-rounded and solid experiences. And like I said before, this is the golden age. I don't think I'm going to be handing out 9s and 10s left and right like I did with these first 6 anymore. Since we're out of the golden era, that also means we're out of the hand-drawn era. Kinda sad to see it go, because I love how these films look. But let's just hope that movie 7, Detective Conan, Crossroad in the Ancient Capital's only major change is the animation style, and the quality of the writing and storytelling stays as strong as ever. For now though, any fans of Conan, Sherlock Holmes, or mystery movies should check this one out ASAP. I can see why this is the most well-liked of the bunch. A film as strong and airtight as Noah's Ark is hard not to appreciate.